Hello and welcome to uh, guest connection training. This is going to be a guide to connecting with our guest, and I hope this format works for everybody. If you still prefer to get together and meet in a certain place, we can do that. Just give me your feedback and let me know what you think of this, and we'll go from there. Just thought maybe we would give a shot at something a little different this time, but that doesn't mean that this is going to necessarily be everybody's favorite thing. So, the first thing I want to tell you is that the most important thing is that knowing, being a member of GET and knowing the way we operate, the most important thing to do, rule number one, is to follow the leading of the Holy Ghost. Everything we say is going to be important. It's going to be needed. It's going to be great information, but understand that the most important thing that we could ever do is follow the leading of the Holy Ghost. And that's with talking to people, getting to know people, understanding people, and we'll be able to put those things where they need to be whenever the Holy Ghost is in spot number one. Okay? So that's the most important thing. So just keep that in mind as we start to do different things or talk about different things. The next thing that we want to talk about is up front, whenever we want to talk about connecting with guests, normally people can tell if you're being genuine or not. So I think we mentioned it in the last time we met, that if you guys are having a hard day or something you're struggling with, or you're having a hard time being genuinely friendly or genuinely nice, come and talk to me. Maybe we can pray about it and get you moving forward. But we don't want you to be fake. We don't want you to be a robot. We want you to be genuine. And if you can be ministered to and it'll give you an opportunity to help you get back on the team and get moving again, that'd be great. But don't feel like you have to be put a mask on. You can come to me and say, hey, my dog died this morning. I can't really put on a smile. I need a minute. And so we have enough team members that we can help you get your smile genuine again, and we'll move forward from there. So being genuine, not putting up a front, not pretending, is important. We want you to be happy and find your joy with whatever that happened. The next thing we want to talk about is, as people come into the church, we want to do a couple things. When a visitor walks in, the first thing, of course, is we want to greet them, and we want to say, welcome to Greater Apostolic Tabernacle. I know we use the term GAT a whole lot, and that's for home folks. And what we want to do is we want people to walk away and be able to say Greater Apostolic Tabernacle. GAT is not a bad thing, but we want to be able to be a church name where it can be used and told. We want to be a place where we're recognized, and not just initials or whatever that's called. So I want us to start saying Greater Apostolic Tabernacle to guests and things like that. So if a person walks in, and you can walk up to them and say, hey, my name is BJ. Nice to meet you. Glad you're here. Those things. But here's something really important I want us to work on, is starting conversations. Now, I don't have a problem normally talking to anybody. It's not a big deal for me, and some of us have that personality. But if I can help you with some things, it would be asking questions that are not yes or no answers. So if you look at some of these questions here, how did you enjoy how did you enjoy the service today? And so the first thing I want you to recognize that about is, sometimes we'll say, did you enjoy service today? And the answer would be yes. Yeah, I enjoyed service. Well, that's not a conversation starter, especially if they're not a talkative person. So if you put how, and I think another way to, someone else said it, would be, what did you enjoy about service today? Or how did you enjoy service today? If you put a how or a what did in front of did you enjoy service today, that gives them an opportunity to be able to express other than yes or no to your question. Or have you been with us before, or is it your first time? So if you'd say, is it your first time? The answer could be yes or no. And then that's the end of the conversation. But if you give them multiple choice, like we have here. Have you been with us before, or is it your first time? They have to use more than yes or no. They say, yeah, I've been here before. I've been here a couple of times. I'll hear Easter, Christmas, or so forth. Or they, yeah, it is my first time. And then that gives you another thing to say to them. Well, since it's your first time, let me let you know who I am, what our guest connection team is doing for you, and go from there. And that way you have something to talk about instead of just going off of their yes or no. What can I help you pray about today? A lot of times we go, can I pray for you? Or do you need prayer? And the answer would be yes. Oh, yes, that's fine. Pray for me. Or no, I'm okay. But if you say, what can I help you pray about today? You're asking them to give more than yes or no. They have to respond with a sentence. It could be nothing, but a lot of times, pray for my family. And then I was looking at the guest connection cards that we got filled out. A lot of them are writing down stuff that they need prayer for, and that's going to be something we can help utilize. And we can do a lot more in the spirit with prayer than we can, the things that we're doing here. So the last one was, we're so glad you're here, and how did you hear about us? That's on the guest connection card too. But if we want to have a conversation, instead of stopping at, we're glad you're here, ask them, how did you hear about us? And so if they have people in the church that are family or people that are friends, you can make connections. You can say, hey, I come with Brother Elms saw me at the store and he invited me, or Andrew Elms, whatever he called him. And then you can say, oh, yeah, he's our pastor and so forth. So it gives you things to talk about. If you look at the two other pieces, there's a couple things there. It says, my name is Amy and your dress is so pretty. Okay, so I hear Amy and Brenna do this a lot. I'm not real big on it. Ladies probably would feel more comfortable with it. But Brenna and Amy will start conversations with complimenting someone and talking about a purse or a dress or shoes, and that lets a guard down if you compliment them, and maybe they can respond by, oh, thank you so much, and then you have an open door into maybe talking about the purse or the shoes or the whatever you're complimenting them about. Brenna does, or you can say, my name is Brenna, and you see there's a family there with them. Hey, introduce your family to me. And they begin to go down the line, and that way you can interact with each person, maybe put some names to memory. And that way, these are ways that you can open conversations that are not dead ends. And so if you want some more help with these things, I can help you with them. I actually went through training at some previous jobs where you had to be on conversation on the phone a lot, and I was taught on how to have open conversations that don't get closed off with yes or no answers. Also, I have one more up there. It says, looking forward to seeing you tonight. This is a way, instead of saying, hey, will you be here tonight? Or will you be here Sunday? Or are you coming back Wednesday? Again, those are all yes or no's. This looking forward to seeing you tonight, or seeing you again tonight, or hey, can't wait to see you Sunday. They actually have a responsibility now to either not show up or say, I don't know if we're coming back, or yeah, we'll be here Sunday. That's an open door for conversation, and not just, you coming back tonight? Yeah. Or no, we won't be back tonight. It's a way to have a fluid conversation. So we can talk more about that in person if you'd like. So the guest connection cards, I mentioned them in the previous topic. The guest connection cards are going to be vital to follow up. Make sure that when these folks are signing these and putting information down, that you're interacting with them. Ask them if they need help, or emails may not be necessary if we want to cut that down, because emails are not a vital part of communication. We're probably going to give them a phone call first, leave a friendly voicemail if they don't answer. If they do answer, we're just going to be like, hey, we're such and such, and we go to Great Hour Apostolic Tabernacle. We're so glad you joined us. Will there be an opportunity for us to see you again? Or and then we're going to ask them if we can pray with them. It's going to be very simple, or if they don't answer the phone, we're going to send them a text, and the text will say something very similar. Looking forward to seeing you again. I hope you enjoyed service with us. Things that are very positive and kind of straight to the point. But the guest connection cards are going to be vital to follow up. So those are going to be things I want you to really pay attention to. So when we are out in the foyer and the teens out there, this next slide I found kind of funny. It's real life. You got on the phone, on a tablet, selfies, texting, tablet, and that's just one example. Don't get distracted by cell phones. I understand we're grown-ups and we have things we have to deal with, but don't get caught up in texting and getting bored, because there may not be a visitor or a guest that's coming through and you just kind of standing around. Create conversations, make things happen. You know, if family of GET is coming in, welcome them just like their guest, and glad to have y'all, love seeing you, so forth and so on. Don't get caught up in looking or acting bored. If that is happening with you, then maybe you should reconsider. Maybe this isn't your gifting. Maybe you need something a little more quiet, and that's okay. No one's going to get upset at you for saying this isn't my spot, so that's okay. And also, a couple things some other folks mentioned was, don't get caught up in talking with people who are your friends and their family, and go to GET and guests walk through the door and you're busy socializing. You need to be there to minister. Excuse me. You need to be there to minister, not to shoot the breeze with your buddies, because we want to make sure that the guest, because we are guest connection, we're ministering to them. Don't neglect our family folks, but also remember their visitors are coming through the door, and that's our priority, because family folks can go find other family folks to talk to. We're guest connection, okay? Don't get distracted by phones or tablets or our friends or buddies, okay? The next thing that we want to talk about real quick is marking your calendars. With being guest connection, if we have holidays coming up or events coming up that apply to guests coming, and that would be really good for them to come to, like Thanksgiving service that's coming up pretty soon, I'm sure, or like Christmas programs, or like whatever else we do, special events that could be an outreach tool, like Fall Fest. That's our big deal. That's our big event. Make sure we are saying that a lot to our guests. We want them to come and be a part of whatever we're doing. So it's going to be your responsibility to know what's happening at Greater Apostolic Tabernacle. It's going to be your job to make sure you're looking into all that and keeping up to date with what's happening. I'm going to do my best to keep the information flowing down to you guys so that we're not unaware. So I know this wasn't very long. I was hoping it would be around 15 minutes, and we're right under that. So I want to make sure that everybody's listening to this, and if you have questions, hopefully something jogged your memory, something sparked in you that you want to talk about. Two things I want to ask you is, number one, my question to you, is a texting an okay form of communication? If it's not, let me know what's the best way to get in touch with you. If we're having Christmas, or if we're having a big event and I need some team members to come together for a certain thing or whatever, I want to know the best way I can reach you and the best way that you're going to communicate back to me. Also, if you're part of a grouped text, are you going to respond to that, or are you going to ignore it? If you're going to ignore group text, I'm not going to put you on it. Also, I'll give rules to group texting. If you just want to chit chat back and forth with somebody, don't do it on the group text. Group text is for me to communicate with you as a whole team, and not just, oh, yeah, that was funny, haha, back and forth. We don't want to do that. We want to not drive people crazy with group text. It's going to be for me to communicate with the group as a whole, and if it's necessary for you to text back, if the whole team needs to hear it, or maybe you should just text me individually. I will know that you've watched this video and done this training if you answer those two questions for me. And also, please ask any questions that you have. That way, this has been beneficial. So remember, the first thing is follow the lead in the Holy Ghost. The next thing is be friendly and genuine. Promote conversation, okay? Avoid church lingo and saying things that people outside of GET do not understand. Open-ended questions, not yes or no. Get that guest connection card filled out. Make a very pleasant experience. Don't force the guest connection card on them. Let them know that this is going to help us reach out to you and help us stay in touch with you, and we'd love that. Don't be distracted by phones or people or things happening at GET. Mark your calendars. Know what's going on. Be aware of all the different departments and what's happening. Even if you're 75 and the children's department is having a party, know about that party. Know about what everybody's doing. And then the two questions are, is texting okay a form of communication? And are you okay with group texting with rules applied? Answer those two questions for me, and I would be very grateful. I hope this is beneficial. If you like this, please let me know. If not, we'll do something different. And we are just over 16 minutes. So I want to thank you very much and see you guys real soon. And I'll have the calendars out to you as well, the schedules for the teams as well. Thank you guys.